Well, good evening and welcome to this pre-season shakedown race at the Watkins Glen International Grand Prix. This is the Crest Autosport DTM 2020 edition of our Raceroom Leagues. Here at Watkins Glen, a brand new circuit to Raceroom. Exciting to be here. Obviously, it's so new that the logos can't appear on this preview here, so never mind there. So, we have got in store for you DTM action from 15 drivers out on track at the moment. And this is, as we said, a pre-season race. Therefore, there's no points on offer today, but it gives the drivers a chance to compare themselves against other drivers in the field, get themselves accustomed to the cars. They're very, very tricky cars to drive. There's been a lot of DTM additions over the years on Raceroom. It is the home of DTM sim racing, you could say. And the 2020 edition is a new breed of cars. I would say very, very tricky to handle on the rear end. Very, very powerful cars, but cars you can take through corners very, very quickly at the same time. It's very, very. It's a big challenge to the drivers today. But we'll see how they get on. So a little bit of housekeeping. A bit of an itinerary of what's going to happen tonight. We have qualifying up in 4 minutes, as the clock says now, which will last 10 minutes. And drivers will have the track to share amongst one another. Pole position from there will be pole position for race 1, which will start at approximately 8:55 UK time, by the way. That is race 1, a 10-minute sprint race where the grid is based on qualifying results. Then we'll go straight over to race 2, which is another 10-minute sprint race, and the grid's based on the race 1 top 8 results reversed. So the guys who finished in the top 8 in race 1 will start in a reverse order. So if you finish first in race 1, you'll start 8th in race 2. There'll be a quick interval in between races 2 and 3 where the admins will set up the new server, drivers will join the server, and there will be a final 30-minute feature race at approximately 9:40 UK time. 30-minute feature race where the grid will be based on qualifying results this time. Last time it was based on reverse 8 of race 2. This week we're going to try qualifying result. A grid based on qualifying, just like race 1. We don't have a track map available to us from the UI, so we'll give it to you in this sort of format. I know it's not the best, but it's all we've got with Raceroom on a very, very underdeveloped track at the moment. So that is the layout that we are doing of Watkins Glen today. Turn 1, as per usual, it is referred to as the 90 corner. They'll take that. It's a very, very wide runoff coming out of turn 1. In fact, we'll go on board with someone to view the track very shortly, but we are missing the chicane in the on the back straight. Let's just see if we can find a driver who is about to start a lap, and it is Heike Nabalov. We'll go on board here, so into the 90 here. Then through the S's, turns 2 and 3, uphill, flat out through here. Take a little bit of the curb on the inside there, then round the right hand of the final of the S's. Along the back straight here, DRS could be open for Navalov here on this back straight. As mentioned, they will miss the chicane, which is on the right there now. Hard braking as they go down a hill, over a crest and down the hill into the outer loop. A long, long right-hander. You can see how much has been put on the steering wheel there. Then a quick shoot down the hill into the chute. Long left-hand here, one of the most tricky corners on the circuit. Reverse camber and downhill. A little bit of runoff on the end there, taken by Heike. Into the toe, right-hander, 180 degrees. Be careful not to put the power down too early. Good exit there from Heike. Up the boot, which is this section of the track, but this straight is referred to as the boot. Braking into the heel of the boot, of course, a little bit wide, missing the apex there was Heike. Up the hill as they rejoin the classic circuit. Left-hander here, a little bit longer than you expect. Do not put the power down too early because the bump you go over to enter the other layout will kick the back end out. These corners don't have a name, so we'll refer to them as turns 10 and 11. Right hand to the final corner, under the Go Bowling Bridge. And that is a lap of Watkins Glen, a very, very quick lap in fact. But the kind of lap times you're looking at are around about 1 minute 32 on this track. Drivers ranging from 132 to 136 in fact in this field, the 15 drivers. And a little bit about the cars before we get going. There's only 2 cars available in the DTM 2020 pack. It's greatly reduced from the 1992s which we had last week. But we only have an Audi and a BMW on offer here. But both have the same brake horsepower, both are the same weight, and both have the same engine type. So they're very, very even cars. The only difference really is in aerodynamics and car characteristics really. Otherwise they're very, very similar. There's no distinct advantage between the two. It's largely down to driver preference. So, coming out of the pits first is Janice Leanberg. Janice Leanberg had an impressive outing last week in the DTM 2020s. All drivers leaving the pits. And we'll have 1 lap to warm up their tyres, get to grips with the car and get qualifying underway. Now, these cars are notorious for being difficult to warm up the tyres on. It's just the way the tyres are, but usually with these cars, as you can see, people are weaving in the background there to warm up their tyres, and it's because the tyres take quite a few laps. On this track, it will probably take about 2 laps to get up to temperature, and then they'll have about 3 laps where they can go absolutely maximum optimum pace on these tyres. Very different to touring cars where it's pretty much, well, touring cars on Raceroom anyway, is pretty much foot to the floor right from the get-go. These DTMs are a different breed. There's a little bit more cunning needed with these. They only have 10 minutes to set a lap time as well. 1.5 minutes approximately is the lap time. So these drivers will only have about 4 flying laps really. So you can't really go back to the pits to reset because it will not benefit in terms of tyre warming. These drivers got to be very, very careful on this outlap where the tyres are very slippery. Back end will step out very easily. The front end will understeer very easily as Jacobson actually went very, very close to the wall there. But let's go on board with Jacobson as he does a lap of Watkins Glen. A little bit wide coming out of turn 1 there. That might have invalidated this time. He has got, I believe that's not Janice Leanberg. It might be Jeff Perkins. Nope. Who knows? But anyway, we are looking at William Foyle into the outer loop down the hill towards the chute. William Foyle, as a bit of information for you, we're really, in terms of past champions, we're only going off other leagues. We're going off Next Gen Power Max Racing League. We're going off the XR Virtual Motorsports Leagues because Crest Autosport haven't really hosted any leagues yet. So there's no prior champions. There's no one holding the reins at the moment. But William Foyle is the outstanding DTM 2020 champion at XR Virtual Motorsports. Season finishing not too long ago, about a month ago in fact. So William is certainly one to look out for. And I love another little point, as it's just reminded me, these guys are also on fixed setups, which means they can't adjust their dampers, their suspension, their wing, camber, toe, nothing like that. It is just brake bias and I believe fuel. So William Foyle currently provisional pole position on a 1:32.695. Nearly a second ahead of second place holder at the moment, Alex Foyle. His brother, Alex Foyle, was brilliant last time out in the DTM 92s, as was Will, to be fair to him. Alex Foyle was the winner of race 1. Will Foyle, the winner of race 2, and Lee Horn, who's not racing tonight, was the winner of race 3 last time out in the DTM 92s. As William goes purple sector yet again. Pretty impressive outlaps fast laps from William Fuller. As we mentioned, the tyres don't really warm up for a lap or two, so the tyre, purple sector's expected right now from the current pole sitter. But third place at the moment, Heike Neverluff. He took us on a tour of the track just a moment ago. He's in third place. Compatriot Emil Holmberg fourth. Leanberg in fifth. Olbing Hilgren in sixth. Ben Payne in seventh at the moment. Mark Rivers in eighth. Raul TK in ninth. Petter Nystrom has just taken 10th place as he crosses the line, and Virginius Majalinskis in 11th at the moment. All others haven't set a time, 4 others yet to set a lap time. Around the final corner goes Janice Leanberg, purple first sector, green second sector, so not quite as good as the car hits the wall in the background there, spinning off in the distance there. Quite sure who that was. Yellow flags in this sector potentially as the car is actually cleared away, so luckily for these guys they are able to put the foot to the floor. Virginius with a very bad second sector there, and another car spinning off in the background there. That final turn is really proving difficult. That was Ben Payne. Ben Payne finding the final corner a pain. Now we are on board with Petter Nystrom here. Petter Nystrom 1.3 off in sector 1 at the moment. But we still have drivers who haven't set a lap time. Scott McLean is just about to set a lap time, puts himself 12th at the moment. And Paul Hans was quickest in practice, I believe. He's about to start a new flying lap. Alexander Jacobson crosses the line to start a new lap. Jeff Perkins, no time set at the moment, is in the pits. Maybe Jeff fancies starting from the back on this pre-season race. On board with Petter Nystrom, who's green in his sectors. Will improve his time. Will he improve his position? We'll find out as he comes across the line. He puts himself 10th at the moment. That's an improvement nonetheless. Emil Holmberg very wide and hits the wall. Going through the left-hander onto the old layout. We'll keep going, will Emil Holmberg. Hopefully not too much damage. Foot to the floor towards the start-finish line. 1.5 off in Sector 2. Actually did an alright Sector 3. Puts himself 6th place at the moment. Was that... Yes, it was. And in fact, it is exactly the same lap time, I think. Yeah, his last lap was exactly the same time as... Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry. No, it wasn't. It was 0.05 off. My eyesight a bit blurry, so I couldn't quite see. It was a 6, not a 0. Oops. Petter Nystrom. Cameras seem to be focused on him as he's going quicker each time he does a lap. Hasn't got much time left, to be fair to him. Paul Hans puts it into 8th place. Paul Hans did much better in practice, so we'll see if he can improve his lap time as the session goes by. A couple of drivers in the pits, they probably won't get another chance to do a better lap. Janice Leanberg, Mark Rivers, and of course Jeff Perkins, who hasn't set a time. Scott McLean hasn't set a time. He's in 14th at the moment. He's out on track. Petter Nystrom does not improve, stays 11th. This is Alexander Jacobson in 4th place. A lot of Swedish drivers doing very well right now in these cars on this track. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. But nothing is touching Will Foyle at the moment. These guys, when they get to the line, will be able to put in another lap. Emil Holmberg jumps up to 6th place past his compatriot Olbing Hilgren. A bit shaky. Coming out of that corner was Jacobson, able to keep it going within a second on the 2nd sector. Not much left on this final split. Alex Foyle takes 5th place just as I said that. But here comes Jacobson. Will he improve on 4th? No, he won't. He'll improve his time, but he won't improve his position. He improved his time by a 10th. That might further solidify 4th, depending on Alex Foyle's capabilities. Now, I think that was Petter Nystrom spinning off there. Will Foyle, he's kind of safe at the moment, fairly close to his times in Sector 1. Who else have we got to expect? There's 40 seconds remaining. Not many drivers actually out on track. Paul Hans is one of them who is going to do one more lap. He is well down in the first sector as 27.144. We'll get rid of that for the minute. That is nowhere near Will Foyle. That's 2/10 down, as you can see. We'll have to see if Sector 2 can improve it. Very wide coming out the chute there. To the right-hander of the toe. Now, Sector 2 ends when they finish on the boot section. Standings have disappeared for us, rather annoyingly. Final driver out on track is Alex Foyle, so we'll cut to him shortly. That's Heike Knaveluf in the background. And that is qualifying over. It seems to have moved us on fairly quickly. I was unable to get the qualifying results, sadly. So, yeah, a little bit of a boo-boo from Raceroom there, but we'll have to look into that another time. So these guys will do a warm-up. So that is qualifying over. For the rest of the evening, we have a 10-minute race coming up next. We have race 2 in approximately 20 minutes, where it will be another 10-minute race. But that will be a reverse of 8 for the grid. And then we'll go down for a quick break, where we'll come back for the 30-minute feature race of race 3. Where the grid there will be based on qualifying results. So pole position for the feature race will be William Foyle. That's 2 pole positions for him tonight. Race 2 is the only other one to worry about based on where he finishes. So, some more housekeeping before we start. This is the season we're going to be taking on in 1 week's time. 1 week today. It will start with the DTM 92s at Brands Hatch Grand Prix layout, FYI. Brand new to Raceroom. And then the following week we'll start the DTM 2020 season. It's always back-to-back between the two. Throughout the 13-week season. 12 rounds in total, but across 13 weeks. It all ends both at the Nürburgring, one on the Nordschleife, one on the Nürburgring Grand Prix layout. If you want to get involved in the series, please do join the group. Please like the Facebook page. There is a group entitled Crest Autosport Raceroom Leagues. Please join that, and also follow us on Facebook, as we mentioned. There's plenty going on in other sims as well. Dirt Rally 2 is our most popular. We also have iRacing Automobilista 2. ACC Assetto Corsa competition is coming along soon. We have iRacing, of course, and we have other leagues in the likes of Wreckfest coming up too, so do keep an eye on our page for them. So the drivers will grid up for race 1 of this shakedown event of the Crest Autosport DTM 2020s. So pole position will be William Foyle with Heike Knaveluf in second place. Drivers are on the grid. Lights are red. Away we go. And that was a jump start from Mark Rivers. I just seen there. And a driver already off in the background there. That looked like Raul TK. Scott McLean and Petter Nystrom were also involved. But through the first corner safely goes William Foyle. Knaveluf is in second place. Jacobson taking third place. Leanberg has dropped down to fifth place. Onto the back straight. I don't think DRS will be open. In fact, DRS is open. We can see on Jacobson there. He takes to the inside of Knaveluf going into the outer loop. They missed the chicane. Down into it. Later breaking from Knaveluf there as he gets by Jacobson. Lindberg's dropped to 6th as well. He's dropping like a fly at the moment. Holmberg has passed Ben Payne, or is alongside Ben Payne. Not giving him much room. Ben Payne hangs on to it at the moment. And we're back on board with Alexander Foyle, who's following Jacobson. Hjulgren is dropped to 9th. It's a bad start from him. Jeff Perkins is up to 10th already from the back of the grid. On board with Alexander Foyle. Late braking, maybe too late. Had to very, very sharply to avoid that. A little bit of a spat from the back end, getting away from that corner. That was very, very brave from Alex Foyle. Managed to avoid it, thankfully. William Foyle out in front, extends his lead to nearly 1.5 seconds so far. And it is a slowdown penalty for William Foyle, abusing track limits. Oh, and a big, big, big hit against the wall from Paul Hans there. Has he got away with that? He might have. But Leanberg takes to the inside into the 90, the first corner of lap 2. If Hans has damage, it will let him down quite a bit. There's DRS open for these drivers. Essentially, Leanberg has got DRS, and as has Jacobson. It's a very nice indicator there on the left, if you can see it. No, you can't quite see it, but you can see it blinking there. He's got 2 remaining on this lap. They can use it at any point on the lap. Oh, and a big lunge there from Jacobson. The door was shut as well from Navalov. Jacobson somehow keeps it going, but that allows Alex Foyle to pounce on him. Jacobson got away with that. You could say he lunged in on him, but yeah, Navalov probably should have saw him on the inside. Alex Foyle looking now to the inside of Jacobson. Is he going to try it? Oh, and there's a big hit on the inside there. That wasn't a very, very conserved move from Alex Foyle there. It doesn't quite work in these cars, making moves like that. You have to be well and truly alongside as Jacobson spins. Final nail of the coffin there, and he pulls out in front of loads of drivers there. Not very safe from Jacobson at all, but that looks like race over for Jacobson. He's going to try and get it going again, but there's a lot of damage on that car. This is Ben Payne. He's got himself alongside Albin Hjulgren. Passed him for the minute inside of the 90, and that is a slowdown penalty for Janice Leanberg. I think he went wide coming out of the 90 there. Ben Payne going a bit wide there, leaving room for Hjulgren, but that's going to allow Hjulgren to get back in front. No, it doesn't. DRS open for Emil Holmberg, pouncing on Janice Leanberg. Not quite enough to get alongside. Maybe these guys are maxing out 6th gear on that back straight. It's a very, very long flat out section from the 90 all the way up the hill to that outer loop. On board with Jeff Perkins, who's gone from 15th to 7th so far. Impressive driving from him at the moment in the green Audi. Hunting down Paul Hans, who had a bit of drama a few laps ago. Would you believe it, we're nearly 2/3 of the way through this race already. Alex Foyle now are on board with, has caught up with Navalov. In that Shell Helix livery there. Back watching Emil Holmberg, not quite as close to Leanberg as he was a moment ago. There was a bit of a sideways moment for Ben Payne back there. As I said, very, very tricky cars to handle. Paul Hans has got a slowdown penalty, who was right behind Emil Holmberg. Has to serve it. Alex Foyle right behind Navalov. DRS can be enabled now, should he wish to, as will push to pass. He hasn't quite opened it yet. Maybe he'll wait till he gets through the S's. DRS now open for Alex Foyle. Will he have enough to get by? He's used his push to pass as well. He's getting close to Navalov. He'll look to the inside, but it's not enough. He's not able to get by him, and that's Mark Rivers with a bit of drama on the final corner there, able to get back away. Emil Holmberg we're watching now, all over the rear yet again of Janice Leanberg. DRS helping him out on that first section. Later on the track, he can't seem to get much closer to Leanberg. Paul Hans and Jeff Perkins still battling behind. That's Alex Foyle. He's dropped back a little bit from Navalov. DRS open on the boot straight. Nowhere near enough was using DRS there to try and gain time on Navalov, who is not dropping much time from William Fall. It's still fairly close, 2 seconds behind in fact, with only 4 minutes to go. These guys will only have about 3 laps remaining. It's getting fairly close to that battle for 4th, behind Leanberg, involving Holmberg, Hans and Perkins. DRS open again for Alex Foyle. He'll be able to use it again. Oh, and a big lunge yet again. Alex Foyle, king of the dive bomb right now. But Navalov gets away with that one, and that's a spin from Petter Nystrom. Big damage on the front of that car there, getting away thankfully, but big drama for him now. Back on board with the battle for 2nd place. Alex Foyle on Navalov. Push to pass, and I'm not sure DRS is open, but he's a lot closer here. Takes heavy to the inside there, is not able to get by again. Neither is Emil Holmberg, but look at that behind him. That is Paul Hans. Pulled up hugely on Emil Holmberg on the outer loop there. Jeff Perkins has been left for dust at the moment by these three. Might have been a mistake from him, but Paul Hans has thoroughly joined that battle for 4th. Alex Foyle very wide coming out the toe there. 8 tenths behind. He cannot lose. If you go more than a second beyond the driver in front, you lose DRS range. That will be crucial for Alex Foyle in these dying moments of the race. As for Emil Holmberg, he's definitely within a second of Janice Leanberg. And the DRS activation, the DRS detection zone is the start line for the entire lap. It's not like Formula 1 where you have a line before the corner and then on the straight you can activate it. It's at any point during this lap you can activate it, and the detection point is the start line, which will be now. But Paul Hans is alongside Emil Holmberg. Will he be able to get past him? No, he won't. Room will be given by Holmberg. There's a slowdown penalty for Jacobson. And why are we switching to this? Paul Hans has nipped in front of Holmberg. Holmberg drops behind Jeff Perkins. This is allowing Leanberg to get away, but these two drivers, Paul Hans and Jeff Perkins, will have DRS, as will Emil Holmberg. That's Paul Hans on the inside of Jeff Perkins. Jeff Perkins gone round the outside, has got past him. He'll have the better line going into the outer loop, and he will. Jeff Perkins gains position to 5th place. Brilliant from the Brit. Oh, Paul Hans switching directions to try and find the way past Perkins. Perkins setting his eyes on the blue livery of Leanberg in front of him, but all of the mirrors behind him. 2 black Audis of Hans and Holmberg. Very wide coming out the toe there is Jeff Perkins, but he seems very, very confident in these cars. Will he gain another position before the end of the race? 1 minute to go. You would think that William Foyle is going to get another lap in, but that was a big move from Emil Holmberg. Paul Hans gets it back straight away. Daring move from Holmberg. A lot of daring moves into that heel corner from a lot of these drivers. This is Paul Hans. Oh, and Jeff Perkins got a bit shaky on the curb there. Is he close enough to Janice Leanberg? Bad exit from Jeff Perkins. Up the inside goes Paul Hans. Perkins is within DRS range, which means he'll have DRS coming out the 90 here. Oh, Jeff Perkins just stays in front of Paul Hans, and now Holmberg is trying the inside as he goes into the S's. Holds the inside. Jeff Perkins stretching away from Paul Hans. Holmberg slots back behind Hans. All of them will have push to pass and DRS enabled, I imagine. Alex Foyle is real close to Navalov again. Perkins dropping back a little bit from Leanberg as we're on this final lap. Oh, and that was a big stab of the brakes from Jeff Perkins going around the outer loop. Paul Hans not able to get past him on that back straight though. This is the view from Emil Holmberg into the toe. Look how much Perkins has gained in these last few corners on Janice Leanberg. These guys will have DRS open on this stretch, but we must switch to William Foyle for the time being. We'll have a quick look, see what's going on here before William Foyle gets to the end. No moves from anyone here, but yeah, William Foyle, stellar drive. Extended his lead towards the end of the race. William Foyle Won a race last week. He wins this week yet again. Takes race 1 here at Watkins Glen. Heike Navaluf takes second place with Alexander Fall in third place. A dramatic race for Alex, but makes it nonetheless. Leanberg hangs on to fourth place with Jeff Perkins. A stunning drive from 15th to 5th. Paul Hans takes 6th after some drama in that race. Good recovery to finish 6th. Emil Holmberg, great entertainment from him to finish 7th. Kilgren was catching up to finish 8th. Alexander Jacobson comes through in 9th. Same livery, different driver. Ben Payne takes 10th place. Virginius Majalinskas takes 11th. And Raul TK coming across the line in the background there to take 12th place. In my favourite livery of the DTMs. Crest Autosport colours, aren't they? Yeah, very close. And Petter Nyström, final of the finishers, will take 13th place. But your winner today was William Foyle. And the reverse grid will mean Albin Hilgren will take pole position for race 2. An exciting opening race of the night, that one. We've got 2 more races coming up for you today. Race 2 coming up in just a few minutes. Excuse me, this one. Yep, just a few minutes. Race 2 will come up. That's another 10-minute race. And the grid is top 8 reverse, so Hilgren on pole position, and alongside him on the front row will be Holmberg. Race winner William Ford will start 8th place. An exciting race there. The biggest drama of them all was the battle between Jacobson and Alexander Foyle into the heel, where there was contact made from Alex Foyle, bit of a lunge up the inside, and then eventually going into the next corner there was no contact involved. Jacobson lost the rear end. It might have been a bit of a, I wouldn't say a reaction from him, but a little bit of worry with the view of Foyle in his rear mirrors. That it was a bit of a plain sailing drive for William Fall. Knavaluf and Fall providing entertainment. Leanberg, Perkins, Hans and Holmberg also providing entertainment. So all drivers return to the pits. We'll just have to wait a short moment before the session moves on to the next race. There we go. There's your classified results of race 1 tonight. Alexander Foyle takes fastest lap, but your race winner was William Foyle. Knavaluf taking up the other second spot on the podium. Reverse grid is 8 for this next race, so Albin Hilgren in 8th place there will take pole position for race 2 with Emil Holmberg alongside him. So a little warm up before the drivers take to the grid, where they'll get ready for race 2, which is another standing start race. We had a rolling start for race 2 last week. There was a bit of an issue with that, so we're going to avoid it this week. Maybe try it again another day. was a driver practicing their start on the back straight there. But this is William Ford, race 1 winner. Just having a bit of a run out. Let's get warmed up. Will Ford will have a little bit more battling to do in this race than in the previous. It's safe to say that all the top 8 were a little bit busy in that race, all except the exception of William Ford. Responding to a YouTube comment from Ben Payne there. Oh, sorry, Scott McLean there. Does the lobby close before the last race? Don't entirely understand the question, I'm afraid, but hopefully this will answer it. There is a gap where I will reset the server, or the admins will reset the server between races 2 and 3. So the drivers take to the grid. This is the second race of the Crest Autosport DTM 2020 League. Pre-season shakedown race, so no points are counted here, but it is a good, as we said earlier, it's a good opportunity for the drivers to get a feel for the cars and the field. Interesting commentary we're hearing in the ambient sound on the track there. I think they're commentating an IndyCar race. But here we go. Lights are red. Drivers are on the grid. Race 2 will start. Now, no jump starts by the looks of it. Kilgren gets away. And Holmberg slots into second there. We saw Alex Fall taking a bit of a lunge there. He's in 4th already. As they come through the S's, that is Alex Fall already in 4th place. Excellent for him. Will Fall is already up to 6th place. He's alongside Jeff Perkins at the moment. That is Emil Holmberg right behind Albin Kilgren. Down this back straight, they have no DRS yet. Kilgren hangs on, but that's a bit of a lunge. Up the inside goes Holmberg. Kilgren manages to stay in front just about. That was Alex Fall, and Hans going very wide there. Will Fall battling with Jeff Perkins back there. The green car alongside the black car there. Will Fall slots in front of Jeff Perkins there. Up, a bit wide there from Kilgren. Or a late line, a late apex, but Holmberg looked very tasty for that move there. Alex Fall making his way past Janice Leanberg at the moment. Outside there, and that's Jeff Perkins swapping directions there. William Fall trying his hands on Paul Hans. He's alongside him and gets in front of him. That is William Fall up to 5th place. The Falls having a very, very good opening lap here. Fall going very wide there, and Paul Hans losing control, just about hangs on to it. Jeff Perkins will try his hands now, but doesn't quite get alongside. Navalov is down to 8th from 7th at the moment, but across the line, Kilgren leads the first lap here of race 2. Alex Fall there, 3rd from 6th, so not a bad start for him, and William Fall from 8th to 5th. Navalov is up to 7th, as Payne gets up to 8th place. A slowdown penalty for Scott McLean, might have been running wide. Paul Hans has dropped all the way to 14th. That must have been an incident with him and Jacobson. They're both out of the race, unfortunately. Race 3 coming up, so they may as well hang on and try again in the 3rd race. Alex Fall behind Holmberg, with Lindberg behind him. Alex Fall stole the show in race 1 last week in the 92s and nearly did so in race 2. Down into the toe, a lunge again from Alex Foyle. Holmberg gives him room, a bit courteous from Holmberg, but kept him out of trouble. Foyle takes second place with a daring move into the toe, and William Foyle trying to move on Leanberg, but can't quite make it at the moment. Oh, and Foyle looking already to first place on Hillgren. The field backs up a little bit. That's Ben Payne in the background there in 8th place. Is a good start for him. Foyle runs wide. He'll get a slowdown penalty for that. It's very strict on track limits is this track. Oh, and Holmberg very wide there coming out of the final turn. They go so quick through that turn. DRS open for Holmberg. He must have seen Foyle had a slowdown penalty and thought he wanted a piece of that, but brakes too late going into the 90. That will be trouble for him as Leanberg gets alongside and past. And it could mean trouble for him against William Foyle. Slowdown penalty for Navalov, who run wide coming out of the 90. That'll put Ben Payne into 7th place potentially. DRS open for Holmberg. Alex Foyle is already on the inside of Hillgren. He might have completed the move already. Not quite. It will be side by side going into the outer loop, but Alex Foyle has the inside. He will take it, but there's a bit of a nudge on the back from Hillgren. They both managed to keep it in shape. Alex Foyle takes the lead here in race 2. Leanberg is now going to try his hands at second place. Jeff Perkins has also joined the battle for first place here. On board with Janice Leanberg. That's William Foyle on the outside of him. Jeff Perkins has got himself into 5th place past Emil Holmberg. Down into the heel. Oh, it was nearly 3 wide back there. Jeff Perkins on the outside of Leanberg. Holmberg just about hanging on there. Perkins gets himself ahead of Leanberg into 4th place. Oh, and that's a spin from Holmberg. And he'll be out of the race potentially. No, the engine's still going, but he's going to wait till the others get past. And that's a spin from Mark Rivers, I think. Yes, it was. Mark Rivers spins on that corner is proving very tricky for most of these drivers today. William Foyle just about on the inside of Hillgren. Hillgren gives a little bit of room, but Foyle had to take to the curb, and it's not a very nice curb on these cars. He has to defend now from Jeff Perkins, who's going to attack in the S's here. DRS for both of these drivers will be on, but Jeff Perkins might be able to get it alongside fairly early on this straight. That's the trick in these cars on this track, is get it alongside quickly, because your car will max out by the end of the straight. Foyle defending from Hillgren going into the outer loop. Hillgren not letting Foyle get away so easily. He's in a Foyle sandwich at the moment, but he's not given up on chasing down the Shell liveried BMW in front of him. As William Foyle dummies him and gets up the inside. Brilliant move from William Foyle there. And Hillgren has got nothing to reply to that at the moment. It's a Foyle 1-2 right now. Oh, and Jeff Perkins up the inside of Hillgren. Bit of a bullish move, but gets it done. Jeff Perkins into 3rd. Makes it a Brit 1-2-3 at the moment. Can the Swedish drivers pounce back? Leanberg's right behind Hillgren in 5th place. Round the final 2 corners with just under 4 minutes to go. Ah, that's a spin from, I think that was Raul TK. Yes, it was. Gets going again. Ah, the dude in my favourite livery. Oh, and that's Mark Rivers has spun coming out of the hill. He's not having a good race, is Mark Rivers. Holmberg's out of the race following his incident on the previous lap. Now, William Foyle chasing down his brother on board. With a gigantic number 2 in front of us. Good run coming out the S's from William Foyle. He gets alongside. He might be able to complete the move now going into the outer loop. William Foyle will take the lead from his brother going into the outer loop. Yes, he does. I had visions then of them two colliding and taking each other out and then having a fist fight in their bedroom just at that moment, but it didn't happen, thankfully. William Foyle takes the lead from Alex Foyle. Jeff Perkins right behind. Battle of the Brits at the moment. Jeff Perkins, little bit of a lunge up the inside there. Can't complete it just yet. This will allow William Fall to edge away if they battle too much. Jeff Perkins will try his hands on the inside. Alex Fall goes to block it. Bit of a sharp move to the right there from Alex Fall. But Hilgren and Leanberg dropping back a little bit from these three drivers as they'll battle away until the race ends, I suppose. But William Fall from 8th to 1st at the moment. The defending, or the outstanding DTM 2020 Exile champion is doing very, very well in this race so far. They've got a long feature race coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So it'll be very, very... Oh, William Fall very wide there, and that's Alex Fall who spun into the tyre wall. Goes Alex. And he saw William Fall go wide, and he must have thought he could take advantage of that. Spins it and ruins his race. What was looking very, very good. A mangled front end on that BMW now. That's Leanberg on Hilgren. Alex Fall is able to stay in 6th now, but will have a lot of damage on that car. Running for the win is gone completely now. It's now down to Jeff Perkins to battle with William Fall. He's within 2/10 of him. And he's in fact very, very close. Trying the undercut, not quite. But Jeff Perkins is looking very, very, very handy to pick up the win here. He must want it now. He's got one car out the way and only one in his sights now. Navalov back there in 5th place. Has had a quiet race. But will start 2nd place for the feature race, so he won't have much to worry about in terms of position in this race. None that will affect him in the championship, of course, because there are no championship points today. This is pre-season shakedown. Of course, grid in the feature race is based off qualifying, as was race 1. Jeff Perkins, this might be his last opportunity. Will he get a good run coming out of the S's? DRS will be open. William Falls will not. Push to pass is on as well for Jeff Perkins. He's alongside. He's trying the outside. His nose is ahead. But can he outbrake him? It's side by side. Jeff Perkins takes the lead here at Watkins Glen. Brilliant move from him to get past William Fall. Nipped his rear end right in front of the nose of William Fall at the right moment. But Will's not going to give up just yet. Thing is though, Jeff Perkins will still have DRS. William Fall will not. What answer does William Fall have now? Other than push to pass. He's still very close to Jeff Perkins, who didn't use DRS on that back straight. William Fall's on the outside, going around the heel. Jeff Perkins closes the door. Defends the inside for the next corner. Gently on the power now. William Fall. Will he try the undercut? The checker flag will be out at the end of this lap. Only one more corner now. You could probably say Jeff Perkins has it unless he gets through this corner uncleanly, but he seems to do so. He does. Jeff Perkins with a brilliant final move on this lap. Takes the win in race 2 with a brilliant battle with William Fall and a brilliant charge through the grid. Albin Hilgren from pole position finishes 3rd. Pretty good from him. Leanberg takes 4th with fellow Swedish driver in 5th place of Heike Navalov. Alex Fall with drama on the final, the penultimate lap, takes 6th place in the end. Ben Payne and teammate Scott McLean in 7th and 8th. Scott McLean, who retired from race 1, that was a good comeback for him. Petter Nystrom, much further up than he was in race 1, a good comeback from him. Virginius Majalinskas in 10th there, already in the pits. Raul TK has finished in 11th, with Mark Rivers just coming around the corner, final corner now, to finish 12th. But your race winner, in brilliant fashion, was Jeff Perkins in the green. Oh, okay. Raceroom doing its thing now. Oh dear. Trying to... Dear me. Yeah, Raceroom does this. Oh dear. Yeah, Raceroom. Sort out your spectator mode, please. Into the abyss sinks the race winner, Jeff Perkins. And hopefully we can move the session on fairly quickly. Dear me. Maybe not. There we go, that's a bit better. Dear. So we will be going away for a quick break, but we'll be back very shortly with the classified results of race 2, and we'll be back for the 30-minute feature race coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back, and the feature race coming up very shortly for the Crest Autosport DTM 2020 pre-season shakedown here at Watkins Glen International Grand Prix layout. It was a very, very thrilling second race there. In fact, race 1 and race 2, both very, very thrilling. Good battles, and a final lap lunge for the lead from Jeff Perkins was enough to win it. There were your results from race 2. Jeff Perkins took the win, taking the lead from William Fall on the outer loop on the final corner. Fastest lap did still go to William Fall. Albin Hilgren takes third place, who started pole position. Janice Leanberg takes fourth place with Heike Navaluf in fifth. Alex Fall, with drama on the penultimate lap, spun the car on the 90 corner, will take sixth, who was running second at the time of the spin. Ben Payne takes seventh place, a good comeback from Scott McLean, who retired from race 1, finished 8th in race 2. Petter Nyström takes 9th with Virginius Majalinskis in 10th, Raul TK in 11th, Mark Rivers, the last of the finishers, in 12th, Emil Holmberg finishes 13th, Paul Hans, and Alexander Jacobson, DNF on the first lap, took 14th and 15th. But the grid of this race will be based off qualifying results from race 1. We don't have those results to hand, but I will try and read out the grid as quickly as possible when drivers do start to form up on the grid. Off the top of my head though, William Fall will start pole position, Heike Navaluf will start second. I believe it might be either Paul Hans or Alex Fall third. So we'll find out very shortly. So apologies for the delay, folks. There's people struggling to join the server, so we are going to hang on and wait for them. As soon as they've all joined, we will proceed with race 3. Race 3 coming up in a few seconds, folks. Be a bit of a strange grid because not everyone has joined this race, but should still be a good race nonetheless. Here we go, the grid will form up for this final race. It's a 30-minute feature race of the pre-season shakedown, the final pre-season race before lights out next week for the DTM 92 series at Brands Hatch Indy. There you go, there is the itinerary. We've got Brands Hatch Indy for the 92s coming up next week. Then the week after, 2 weeks today, will be the opener of the 2020s. But the lights are red. We're about to go for this 30-minute feature race. William Fall is on pole position with Navalov in second. Away they go, and Alex Fall will have a drive-through penalty for a false start. That will not help things for him as he nips into second place right away. William Fall leads going into turn 1. Is a bad start for Navalov, who drops to 4th place. Through the S's they go. Bit of battling back there. Oh, there's Ben Payne. Switched liveries on me, so I can't recognise him. 3 wide going down the back straight between Ben Payne, Scott McLean, and I believe that might be Kilgren. They slot back in. Bit of argy-bargy from McLean and Payne. Round the outer loop they go. Navalov dropping from 2nd to 4th so far. He knows he hasn't got Alex Fall to worry about as he'll have to serve a drive-through penalty. Navalov is right on the rear of Janice Leanberg. And has Jacobson to worry about as well. Jacobson with not the greatest of nights so far will hope to redeem himself here today in this feature race. At the inside of Jacobson goes Kilgren. A bit of contact from Jacobson turned in on Kilgren, but they managed to get through the corner okay. Kilgren on the outside will not be able to get in front of Jacobson just yet. Oh, Jacobson real out of shape coming out of turn 10 there. Into the final corner. Kilgren, will he be able to get a good run? William Fall rocketing away from the field at the moment. Alex Fall has already taken to the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. There he is. Oh, it's a very, very slow and long pit lane for him. But at this point now, if any drivers were thinking of pitting for fresh rubber, Alex Fall might not be one of them. Might try and see the tyres out to the end. And it's a here, Alex Fall, a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, big turn across from Navalov. Jacobson didn't quite have enough gas on the back straight to get alongside and past Navalov. The battle for third continues. In fact, it's a battle for second. Janice Leanberg right in front of Navalov. William Fall absolutely streaming away, nearly 3 seconds clear already. William Fall, whose win in race 2 was snatched away in the final lap by Jeff Perkins. You could say with how things stand right now, it could have been a triple delight for William Fall tonight. But first, second, and as it stands, first is pretty good for him anyway. Scott McLean and Ben Payne in 6th and 7th battling back there. Crest Autosport colours of at Raul TK. He's not a Crest Autosport driver. We might have to change that one day. But in 8th place there. Penny Strum back there in 9th. Alex Fall still going, but has another drive-through penalty to serve. It's not going to be a happy ending for Alex in terms of results in this feature race. Slow down penalty for Ben Payne, already served fairly quickly. Oh, and it's a spin from Alexander Jacobson. What happened there? Oh, and it's Ben Payne, who's had contact with Penny Strum by the looks of it. That was very strange because we saw Jacobson going into the wall. Might have been contact involving him and Kilgren. We didn't quite see that. There's a lot of drama there in a split second for most of the grid. Now Navalov has no one to worry about behind him now yet. has Leanberg right in front of him in that blue Audi. DRS open for Navaluf, not quite enough to get alongside. It's a very, very difficult track to get alongside and pass someone on the brakes. As you can see then, it just wasn't enough time for Navaluf to get alongside and past. You have to line your moves up from a long way back in these cars, especially on this track. But these cars will take to Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in 2 weeks' time for the opening round of the 2020 edition of the championship. As there is the 92s and the 2020s back to back, but there are separate championships for each of them. There's also a combined championship for those drivers who are doing both. As we just saw Kilgren slip up coming out of the 90 there. That allows Navaluf to get away and Jacobson to get past. But yeah, as we were saying, yeah, there's 3 different championships going to be happening. There's the 92 championship, the 2020 championship, and the combined. This is Navaluf. Nothing to answer yet with Leanberg in front of him, but it's still allowing William Full to edge away more and more. 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds clear now. But of the drivers out there at the moment, William Full is doing both the 92s and the 20s, so he'll be involved in all 3 championships. We have to say he's a favourite, having won many, many races so far. 1 last week, and at the moment 2 this week, as it stands. Leanberg has not actually officially entered the championship. His entry's not on here, but our presumption is he'll be doing both, because he took part last week and he's taken part this week. Heiken Navaluf, otherwise known as Stefan Navaluf, will be taking part in both the 92s and the 2020s. Alexander Jacobson in 4th place at the moment will be taking part in both in the BMW, so he might be a bit of a Beamer fan. Here's Alexander. Albin Kilgren will be taking part in both. He was in the Audi last week and did very, very impressively in the 92s, and he's in the BMW for the 20s. Scott McLean, newly recruited Crest Autosport driver, will be taking part in both. He's one of the very few Opel drivers, or the people who've opted for the Opel. See how long that lasts for him anyway. In the 92s and in his black Audi for 20s. Rao TK will take part in both as well. Pet and Eastrom will as well. I think all of these drivers actually are. Yep, Ben Payne is, who's out of the race unfortunately for him, as is Alex Foyle. A bit of a shame for them. But there's a couple of drivers who are only doing either the 2020 or the 92s. Quite a few doing both. There's 6 drivers who are only doing the 92s, who are Cammy McPhail, Frank Tennant, Oyvind Snekker Anderson, Stacey Newcomb, Tonga Guardia and Tor Oyvind Anderson. And the few that are only doing the 2020s are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers as well. One of them was Virginius Mejalinskas, who's not taking part in this feature race unfortunately. John Dowling another, Mark Heyman another, Paul Hans, we saw him earlier, not taking part in this race at the moment. Per André Sturler is another, and as we mentioned, Virginius Emil Holmberg, who's... Oh, what's happened to Alexander Jacobson then? It was on his side against the barrier then. Lord knows what happened to him there. Mangled up BMW now. Gets away. That was very, very strange. But Navaluf and Leanberg have swapped places while I was yapping away about the entry list. Will the battle go on between these two? Navaluf, you have to say, has had the better pace of the two. throughout the night. Into the final corner goes Leanberg. He's still within DRS range, which means he'll get another round of DRS, as he uses it just to keep himself within range and get pretty close. As we go around the 90, goes wide, does Leanberg. Starts DRS straight away. Is it a good idea at this point? I'm not entirely sure it is. He'll probably end up too close. Got to keep your foot flat to the floor, not move too much of... Oh, and he's got a huge run on Navalov, takes to the inside, and we'll get past. That was an excellent, excellent move from Leanberg. I was wrong. Starting DRS from all the way back there was in fact a good idea. Navalov will not give up. He'll try for the inside, going into the chute, and it didn't quite work. He could not get the car alongside. So Navalov will have to try again. Perfectly executed DRS overtake from Janice Leanberg there. Third of the race gone so far. Now, Navalov. If we go on board with him now. Oh, that was a bit of a slip up from Janice Leanberg, who will cross the line first. It might have been Navalov, which means Janice Leanberg will end up with DRS on this lap. DRS is open for Leanberg, as we can hear it inside. Is that horrible whirring noise? Oh, and Leanberg loses it. That's the trouble with activating DRS on the S's. And he is dropped well back from Navalov at the moment. He'll have to graph to get that back. Still has DRS, so needs a good clean lap here. Hilgren is not far behind these two, 2.5 seconds down. Might he be able to catch them up? May I say, that gorgeous black BMW livery. But Navalov is now 6.5 seconds down from William Full, who's just smashing this race at the moment. Now, the interesting thing about these feature races, the advantage that these 8 drivers now that are going to have on all the others, the other 15 or so that are going to be taking part next week, is these guys will know how these cars handle as the tyres degrade. They'll know whether they need a pit stop, they'll know whether a pit stop is good or worse. These guys have a significant advantage going into that opening round of the season. Knowing how the cars feel in these moments of the race. We're approaching halfway at the moment. Now, Leanberg has DRS. Somehow has DRS. He was well over a second behind. Got through the S's much cleaner there. Navalov also had DRS. Not sure how. But yeah, as we mentioned, if you do want to take part in this DTM 2020 series, you can do so. You can also take part in our DTM 1992s. One or the other, or both. It's completely up to you. The season starts in 1 week today with the 92s. 2 weeks today is the 2020s. Give Crest Autosport a like and follow on Facebook to find out, to keep in touch with us. And of course, join the Facebook group. The community for this league, Crest Autosport Raceroom Leagues. Search for that and you'll find it. Join the group And there's plenty of posts there to get you involved. As for this channel, a bit of news is that we'll be rebranding this channel to become the main Crest Autosport channel. It'll be the home of all Crest Autosport streams, broadcasts, all that sort of thing. Streams from the teams, broadcasts from the commentators like myself. It'll all be from this channel from next week onwards, rebranded to Crest Autosport. Or actually, it'll be rebranded to Crest Autosport TV. So do give us a subscribe if you haven't already. Slow down penalty for Will Ford. We'll just check on that. Not much to worry about, of course. He's 7 seconds clear, and he looks like he's already served it. He has. But yeah, carrying on. Yeah, that's the one bit of news there. 1 week today, the season will start. There's a lot going on at Crest Autosport. There's Dirt Rally 2 leagues. That's our pedigree, our trade. Moving on to season 11, the 11th season, where the qualifiers will start in just 2 days' time. And then the season starts, I think, on the 13th of January. Might be wrong about that. We also have Raceroom leagues, as you can see here. Atomo Ballista 2 leagues. There is a Mini Cooper race coming up very soon on there, so do join our group for Atomo Ballista 2 for that. There's an iRacing league in the making, the Formula 3s, which will be entitled the Tour of iRacing. That is coming up. That's been postponed at the moment, but we'll be back at some point in the new year, so do join our iRacing group for that. We also have come along very, very soon a Wreckfest League. Good fun and where there are no rules. We also have an Assetto Corsa Competition League in the making, which is very exciting. It's one of the hottest sims on the market, along with iRacing and Raceroom. But if you want to get involved in any of those leagues as a driver, do feel free. If you want to be an admin for Crest Autosport, all you have to do is ask and tell us what your trade is, what your specialty is. You can join the Crest Autosport team as an admin, should you wish to. Just going back to the racing now, Janice Leanberg is 2.3 seconds down from Navalov. Navalov looks pretty comfortable there in second place at the moment. Hjulgren is hunting down Leanberg. Oh, he was until he ran wide there on the heel. And being lapped then was Petter Nyström. And we just saw as a drive-through penalty for Alexander Jacobson, who was speeding in the pit lane. Something that seems to fool these drivers, not these drivers, but a lot of drivers on Raceroom, is the pit lane procedure, as Petter Nyström has just nipped into the pit lane. Some of these drivers actually fancying a change of tyres, which is very interesting to see. But at this point in the race, drivers are opting to get fresh rubber. One of those drivers isn't William Foyle. William Foyle seems pretty happy out there, nearly 10 seconds clear now of Heikki Navalov with 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go, sorry. Just driving his own race out there. I mean, his rivals in race one were Jeff Perkins and Alex Foyle. Alex Foyle retired early on due to all the penalties he had. And Jeff Perkins just wasn't here in race 3 and turned up. Raul TK sadly out of the race. He is only just retired, but let's call it a day. The car might be in a bad condition and not worth continuing, but we'll see Raul in the next few rounds. He is doing the 92s and the 20s, so we'll definitely see him next week at Brands Hatch. Now William Foyle has decided to come into the pits. He has actually said, enough is enough, I'm going to take some tyres. Heikki Navalov has stayed out, as has Janice Leanberg and Albin Hjulgren. Now them two, seeing William fall in the pits, are thinking, can they keep the car going? Can they keep the tyres going? And finish up ahead of William. Scott McLean gets past William Fall, who's just sitting there in the pits at the moment. Down on the ground, away he goes. Careful not to speed the car too much. Oh, a bit of a shake up the rear end for William, but he gets out of the pit lane safely without a penalty. So, William Fall, with 10 minutes to go, has come into the pits. Is it a risk? We'll find out, because Navalov, Leanberg, Hilgren and McLean, the drivers who have it all to risk now, staying out on shoddy, wearing rubber, where they're probably more prone to make a mistake, run wide, spin, but also their pace will be significantly slower. Having said that, Kilgren has got about a 30-second buffer to William Foyle now. So with 10 minutes to go, Knavalov will have to lose 3 seconds per lap for William Foyle to get past him. So, if you're Heike Navalov right now, you'd probably consider getting the car to the end right now. So, we'll have to keep an eye on these times. The last lap by Knavalov was a 1:34. We have seen that William Foyle can set 1:32s, but mid 1:32s, which would definitely not be enough. Scott McLean has decided to come into the pits, so that's one position down for William Foyle already. About 2.5 seconds between these three Swedish drivers at the moment. Navalov catching up on who I think is, Alexander Jacobson. So lap him. Jacobson came in the pits on the previous lap. So let's skip over to Heike Navalov. Is he going to go into the pits this time? Heike Navalov stays out, as does Janice Leanberg in second place, as does Albin Hilgren. I think they know what they can do. I think they know what to do. 1:34 from them at the moment. William Foyle only just getting onto the classic part of the circuit. Was it worth doing for William Foyle? You can definitely see how comfortable he is going through that final corner compared to the others. DRS on, I'm not sure how that's happened because he's not within time of anyone else. But that was a 1:33 dead for William Foyle. 1 second quicker, nowhere near enough. He's 23 seconds behind Albin Hilgren. He needs the other drivers to spin. He needs the other drivers to pit. That's the only thing that's going to get him on the podium, let alone the race win, which he had in his hands. See, this is the interesting thing about these drivers going into the race in 2 weeks' time, is knowing whether it's worth pitting or not. Some drivers will just risk it and take the tyres to the end, some drivers won't. Fastest lap of the race has been set by William Foyle, which was a 1:32.9, which is only a few hundredths quicker than his previous lap, which still isn't quite as quick as these guys here. Hilgren, in fact, did the quickest lap of the three of these drivers up the front here with a 1:34.1. Knaveloff in first place with a 34.3 and a 35.0 for Janice Leanberg. So Hjulgren getting pretty close-ish to Leanberg. Leanberg dropping back from Knaveloff. William Ford with a slowdown penalty that will not help things. 22 seconds behind. That will not help things getting that slowdown penalty. He knows he has to push. And in fact, on that previous lap, William Ford set the fastest lap of the race of a 1:32.4. Blistering lap time, in fact. You can tell he's pushing by impeding track limits. He's within 20 seconds of Ulrich Hjulgren. Now, these laps that William Ford is doing are 2 seconds approximately quicker than the three Swedish drivers at the front here. Having said that, with 5 minutes to go, that'll only get William Ford to within maybe 12 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. That's if Will can keep it going for that amount of time on that sort of lap time. These drives included, how much are these tyres going to drop off even more? Last lap from Knaveloff was a 34.4, a 34.5 from Leanberg, a 34.7 for Hjulgren. This is very interesting from these drivers. All within 3/10 of each other on that previous lap. An invalidated lap time, obviously, from William Ford, so I'm not able to see what he managed to get. But it's the relative time you can see on your top left there is it's just stretched back over to 20 seconds. So can't have been the best of lap times for William Ford. But if you're in Knaveloff's shoes right now, you know this. We all know he's going to try and take this to the end, which will annoy William Ford greatly. But this is what shakedown's all about. This is the race to make mistakes or to make risks. But the thing is, the other thing to consider is, with these tyres dropping off bit by bit, might actually be better, okay for a track like this. It might not be as demanding on the tyres as other tracks like Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, which is very, very tough on the tyres, I believe. Other tracks on the calendar we'll just look at now on the right hand side for these 2020s. Oscherschleben's very tough on the tyres. Not many straights at Oschersleben either. Lausitzring is not bad on the tyres. Very tricky track, mind. Salzburg Ring is tough on the tyres. Hockenheim Ring is not. Nürburgring is half and half. So it'll be interesting to see who throughout the season decides to do these long 30-minute stints without a pit stop, and who's got the pace to be able to get in the pits, take some fresh tyres and get back out and catch up with these guys. William Ford is under 18 seconds now, and in fact Knaveloff's last lap time was a 1:35.1. William Ford did the fastest lap of the race with a 32.2. So, whereas Knaveloff has in fact gone about 7/10 slower in a lap, William Ford's going quicker. But there's only 2 minutes remaining. And in fact, well, Knaveloff gets 2 more laps in. It's going to be very, very cutting it fine here. 38, 37, 36, 35. Oh, I'm not entirely sure if Knaveloff will make it to the line in time to do another lap. That's what you'll be hoping. If you're Knaveloff at this point, you'll back off a little bit and make sure you get the checkered flag. 1:35.0 for all 3 of the Swedish drivers in the top 3. On that previous lap. Will Ford is not close enough. These guys are not going to come into the pits. He has lost all chance of getting a top 3 now. All these drivers need to do is get round this final lap. Knavlov has had a pretty decent night tonight. It wasn't the best of nights for him last week in the 92s, but this week here he has been very, very impressive with second place in qualifying. A quiet, steady, but improved race in race 2 to finish what I think was 5th place, following the 2nd place finish in race 1. And here it's a race win in the feature race, just by taking a different strategy. Credit to Leanberg and Hjulgren for also taking the same strategy. Hjulgren is getting close to Leanberg, but it's not going to be enough. Knavlov should have enough to get it to the line here. Around the far corner, he backs off a huge amount. Knavlov, 2, 1. It's going to be another lap. It's another lap for these guys. But look at Will Foyle. He's within 12 seconds now. A few more laps more, and you probably could say William Foyle would catch these guys. This pre-season race, and it is presenting a little bit of drama. It might have spoiled a few things for us. This is probably what we could have seen next week. Hjulgren, something's happened to Leanberg. Leanberg's dropped off, and Hjulgren's ended up in 2nd place. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. You can see William Foyle is back there in 4th place, reeling in Leanberg on this final lap. Will he be able to catch him? He might actually be able to, with Will still able to say, yeah, in fact he does. He gets past him. Something's happened to Leanberg. Is he out of fuel? No, that sounds like a very poorly car indeed. I've got a feeling Janice Leanberg is very low on fuel. No, he isn't. He's got suspension damage. He must have hit the wall. Oh, the podium has gone away from Leanberg in the dying moments, but this is our race winner, Heike Knavlov. The best strategy and combination of pace out there will take the win in the feature race here in this pre-season shakedown at Watkins Glen. Albin Hjulgren will take 2nd. William Foyle gambled with coming into the pits to take fresh rubber. His pace has been phenomenal throughout the night. A win in race 1, but it's going to be a 3rd here with the demise of Leanberg in the dying moments of this race. William Foyle takes 3rd place. Janice Leanberg limping his way back to the finish. The final lap, the tyres must have hit breaking point for him. And he hit the wall very, very slowly around these final corners. Got enough of a buffer to stay in 4th place. Janice Leanberg takes 4th place. Scott McLean will come through in 5th. Has seen big improvement throughout the night. He did not finish race 1. Finished in the top 8 in race 2, and it's a top 5 here in the feature race. Next up is Alexander Jacobson. Oh, and that's not a good end to this race for him. Cherry on the cake, I think. But he'll limp his way back to the finish. That is Petter Nyström, who has finished the race. Jacobson will be the last through, as TK, Payne and Foyle have all retired from this race. And Jacobson limps his way across the line. But your winner today is Heike Knavlov. William Foyle won race 1. Jeff Perkins, sorry, won race 2. It's been an exciting night of racing, a bit of drama in every single race we presented tonight. Hopefully we'll see more excitement in the coming weeks. So as these guys get themselves back to the pits, this is what we've got coming up. In a week today, on the 5th of January, we've got the opening round of the 1992 DTMs at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. A week later, we're in the DTM 2020 cars at Brands Hatch, still on the Grand Prix circuit on the 12th of January. Then on the 19th, at Zandvoort for the 92s, and then back in the 20s for Oschersleben on the 25th. Over to Belgium for the 92s at Zolder, then the 20s back in Germany at Lausitzring. We have a week off, and then we're back with the 2020s, where it's reversed at this point now. Salzburg Ring is the 4th round of the 2020s. Then we're back in Germany for Norris Ring, the street circuit, on the 2nd of March. Still in Germany for the Hockenheim Ring, one of the most famous circuits in Germany, for round 5 of the 2020s. Down to the Czech Republic for a non-conventional DTM track, but we're at the Autodrom Most circuit in Czechia for the 16th of March in the 92s. The final round of the DTM 2020s will be the 23rd of March at the Nürburgring. And then, just to its neighbour, the Nordschleife for the final round of the entire championship, both combination and the 92s. It will be the Nordschleife from the DTM 1992s. So if you do want to get involved, join our Facebook group, Crest Autosport Raceroom Leagues. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to this channel. We will be rebranding, as we said, to Crest Autosport TV. I'll be broadcasting the entire season, hopefully. But do give us a subscribe. Follow the Facebook page and stay in touch. There we go. There's your results of the feature race. William Ford took fastest lap, but your race winner is Heike Navaluf, with Albin Kielgren in 2nd place. William Ford, fastest lap holder, takes 3rd place. Janice Leanberg in 4th, with Scott McLean in 5th. Alexander Jacobson will take 6th, with Petter Nyström limping home to finish 7th. Raul TK, Ben Payne and Alex Fall did not finish this race in 8th, 9th and 10th. Thank you very much for watching today. Thank you to the drivers for taking part. We'll see you next week for round 1 of the 1992 DTM League at Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. See you then. Thank you very much.